history of Islam, there is only one occasion that took place that someone who gave a charity while he's in ruku to a sa'il, to a poor man, was asking for some help in the masjid, and that was in the time of the Holy Prophet, and that person was Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. There is no doubt. Unfortunately, I don't remember all the sources now because I didn't know you were going to ask this question. But it's if you need the sources as well, I can provide it to you, inshallah. Either email them to you or whatever text. You can see all the sources from the Sunnis. Shias, of course, we believe in that. The Sunnis as well, the Ayatul Wala. Now, the only dispute when it comes to this ayah amongst the Shia and Sunni scholars, again, most of the Shia scholars, most of the great Sunni scholars. Obviously, some Sunni scholars who were influenced by Ibn Taymiyyah, which is the basically he is the grandfather of Wahhabism and extremism. You know that. I've read. There is a book. I had to read it because I had to have a debate with someone who claimed that he was Sunni but he was Wahhabi. That Ibn Taymiyyah is Shaykh al-Islam, right? And he was a great guy and all that. But so there's a book he has. It's Minhaj al-Sunnah. It has 8 volumes. I didn't have time to read all 8 volumes, but I read 4 volumes. But in that book, based on my research, I found 17 times that he insulted Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam in Fatima al-Zahra. Like for example, when Fatima al-Zahra asked Abu Bakr, the first Khalifa, for the fadak, right? For the fadak that she inherited from her father. So I don't want to go back to the history, what happened between Fatima al-Zahra and him. Here Ibn Taymiyyah says Fatima al-Zahra did it because of the love of dunya, because she was attached to this dunya. Imagine that. Ibn Taymiyyah believes that Yazid is the 12th Imam. Ibn Taymiyyah believes that Yazid is the 12th Imam. He's one of the 12 Imams. He's one of the 12 Imams. That's why. Therefore, he doesn't mention that anything like so insulting to Imam Hussein. But imagine whoever fights the Imam of his time. What is that person? Out of Islam, right? So who fought Yazid? Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So that's why there is a book in Saudi Arabia, they publish it, Fada'il Amir al-Mu'minin Yazid ibn Muawiyah. The virtues of Amir al-Mu'minin Yazid ibn Muawiyah. They love him and they name schools, hospitals, streets before Yazid, right? So I'm not talking about those type of scholars. Like Albani is one of them. He is the author of the author of Ruh al-Ma'ani, which is tafsir. Most of the great Sunni scholars, by the way, I have the sources of 2 great, very, very, important Sunni scholars in the time of Ibn Taymiyyah, which was around 800 years ago. They gave the fatwa of the kufr of Ibn Taymiyyah. That was Suyuti, Jalaluddin Suyuti, and Dhahabi. These 2 scholars, they gave the fatwa of his kufr. And the funny part is that the Sunni Sunni brothers and sisters, and the Wahhabis, they believe in Jalaluddin Suyuti and Dhahabi. They love them. They know they are great scholars. So other than that, most of the Sunni scholars, the majority of them, we call them in Hausa Jumhur. They believe that this ayah is about Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wassalam. Now, Some people ask this question, so is your prayer still valid? You know, when you pray and you give charity, of course it is valid, right? Because it's not that much movement, first of all. Because he pointed the Sa'il, the one who's asking for help, to come and take the ring off of his finger, right? That's one thing. And then also it was ibadah in ibadah, act of worship while doing another act of worship. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala appreciated this action in the Holy Prophet adored Imam alayhi salam because of this action, and this ayah was revealed for Amirul Mu'mineen. This is only one of the amongst the hundreds of ayahs about Amirul Mu'mineen. Now you ask one question, so let me share a very, very beautiful ayah that many people don't know. Many people. There is an ayah in Surah An-Naml, right? When فَلَمَّا جَاءَ سُلَيْمَانُ قَالَ أَتُمِدُّونَنِي بِمَالٍ فَمَا آتَانِيَ اللَّهُ خَيْرٌ مِمَّا آتَاكُمْ بَلْ أَنْتُمْ بِهَدِيَّتِكُمْ تَفْرَحُونَ. When this queen of Saba sent some gifts, very, very precious gifts to King Sulaiman, Prophet Sulaiman sallallahu alayhi, to impress him. Not to, obviously, she didn't know Prophet Sulaiman, to impress him. Look how much treasure we have, this is just nothing. So you know what happened before that, what Prophet Sulaiman ordered the jinns and all the creatures to build those beautiful and very precious castles to impress the guests and the messengers from Saba. But now Prophet Sulaiman invited Saba, the queen of Saba, right? So he asked his companions, his people, I want someone to bring the throne of the queen of Saba from Saba here, very fast, right? Now the ayah says, I don't remember the number of the ayah, but I can show it to you very easily if you give me Quran now or after. قال عفريت من الجن أنا آتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك إني عليه لقوي أمين. I am very strong and untrustworthy. I can bring her throne to you before you get up from your chair. I can just bring it that fast. Now, okay, so that's incredible, right? Now the next ayah says, قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. It's not jinn. The first one was a jinn. Second one, الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. One of the companions, that was Asif ibn Barkhiyah, the main companion of Prophet Sulaiman. He was minister and a high advisor of Prophet Sulaiman. He said, I will bring her throne before you blink, right? قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك. So Quran describes Asif ibn Barkhiyah, someone who has a portion of the knowledge of the book, right? A portion of the knowledge of the holy book. Now the last ayah of Surah Al-Ra'd, ويقول الذين كفروا لست مرسلا قل كفى بالله شهيدا بيني وبينكم ومن عنده علم الكتاب. The one who has the absolute knowledge of the book. The Holy Prophet says that is Ali. That is Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. Remember, the one who had the portion of the knowledge of the book. So you see what happened. He brought the throne of the queen of Saba before Prophet Sulaiman blinks. Now Imam Ali has the absolute knowledge of the book. That's why the Holy Prophet says, Aliyun ma'al Quran, wal Quranu ma'a Ali. We have a lot to say about Imam Ali alayhi salatu wasalam. The Holy Prophet said, Amir al-Mu'mineen says, what is Sirat al-Mustaqim? The Holy Prophet says, you and your followers are the right path. You are Sirat al-Mustaqim. One more thing I'm going to share with you about Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam. It was such a beautiful night. I didn't have planned to do this. It's all your fault. I mean, it's not a fault, obviously. Thank you for asking that question. Some people say, oh, you know, who started using the word of Shia, right? Obviously, first of all, we have the word of Shia is repeated two times in Quran, right? 2 times. One in Surah Safat, the other one in Surah Qasas, right? Shia means follower. وَإِنَّ مِنْ شِيعَتِهِ لَإِبْرَاهِيم, for example. Right? So, who started Shia as the followers of Amir al-Mu'mineen? Who knows that? Who started this? How? If it was Prophet.
Back in Mecca before the Hijrah, the Prophet started calling the people who love Imam Ali were Shia. It's very old.
So, I believe that was Medina. Yeah. Yes, the Holy Prophet. Thank you. That was the Holy Prophet. How? Shia and Sunni sources. That's amazing. The most important Sunni source. I'm not talking about like some very, new books. These new, no, very old books written by great scholars like Sahih Muslim, Sahih Bukhari, and all that. When ayah number 7 of Surah Al-Bayyinah was revealed, the ayah is this: إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ أُولَٰئِكَ هُمْ خَيْرُ الْبَرِيَّةِ. Indeed, those who have believed and did righteous, deeds, they are the best of the creatures, right? And then there was a circle in the masjid. Amir al-Mu'mineen was not in the circle. Some of the companions of the Holy Prophet asked him, who are the Khairul Bariyah? The riwayah, the hadith says, as soon as he asked this question, the Holy Prophet, before he answered the question, he sees Imam Ali salam is entering to the masjid. He pointed, the Holy Prophet pointed to Amir al-Mu'mineen, says, Aliyun wa shi'atuhu hum khairul bariyah. Say salawat, please. Ali and his Shi'as, his followers, are the best of the creation. They're the best. So obviously, it is hard to claim, it's a big claim to, to say that, oh, I am the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen. It's not easy to be the Shia of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam. Someone came to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. I'm trying to hold you in between, not to be so, astaghfirullah, to be arrogant, right? Not to be so naive, We have to be very careful, because being Shia is very different, and it's very, very difficult, right? Some people say, I remember I was in Iran, the taxi driver said, Aja, like this. Man, arak mikhoram, like I drink, right? Har gunahi ke bekhai kardam. You just name any sin I've committed, and I still do. But I love Abul Faz, and I have Abul Faz. I know Abul Faz will save me. I said, if you continue doing this, yes, Abul Faz will take your hand all the way to the hellfire. What are you doing? Hazrat Abul Faz, he went to Karbala, he became Shaheed, was martyred. For you to not do all these things, now you're doing it in the day of Tasu'a, Ashura, and you just hold his alam, that's not enough, right? So anyways, someone came to Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, he said, Yabna Rasulullah, I'm your Shia. Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam said, oh, you're Shia? You have, I forgot the signs, like it's your behavior, your consistency in worshipping Allah, fasting, not in the month of Ramadan only, and then praying, giving charity to others, being honest. There are some attributes. He said, do you have any of these? Do you have all of these? He hesitated. He said, see, so don't call yourself Shia. You're the lover of Ahlul Bayt, and Anta you're still good. But being the Shia, yes, it is available. You can chant, I'm Shia, but you have to go towards that. You can't just do whatever you want to do and call yourself I'm Shia. That's not enough, right?
Salawat.